Hi. Okay, welcome to third year celebration of achievement. I know it was very difficult to hear. There was a lot of bodies in there, note to self for next year. But I hope you agree that the musicians were absolutely outstanding. And the talent in that ensemble is enough to celebrate in and of itself, but actually we've got a little bit more for you. So Mr. Kendall Dorr, our deputy head, challenged me a couple of months back. He said, you know, we traditionally do celebration of achievement in the chapel, and we do some prizes, and it sort of takes a kind of speech day format. Why don't you shake it up a bit? Why don't you see what you can do? Is there a new format we haven't tried? And I said, yeah, all right. So he knows better than to challenge me to think outside the box, and I should know better than to do it. So it has been quite stressful, not going to lie. The last couple of weeks have been very busy for the students and staff alike. We've had Go Week, which your children were outstanding. We've had exams, small. And then we've come into this. And, you know, I asked a lot of them. I had a crazy idea, and they've delivered. And I am so proud of them, and I am so appreciative, because I was slightly concerned that my harebrained idea would completely tank and I'd have to cancel the whole thing and it would be a real embarrassment, you know, career suicide. So I'm really, really grateful. So really, without further ado, I want to introduce the students, because this is all about them. And I just want to say how thankful I am that you've raised such zealous and happy children. So let them show you what they've been up to this year, and we will celebrate their successes.
There might be some mild audience participation in this one, so if you do have to have a glass of wine or some value in your hand, maybe put it away for a few minutes.
Sport is a very important part of our lives, whether we like it or not. It's something that we should be proud of and celebrate. This year, everyone has done a lot of sport, from rowing and games to trampolining and PE. 3J have been given this responsibility to showcase the talent that this year has in all fields of sport. Here's Ohana, who will share our thoughts on hockey and rugby.
In the span of the winter term for games, many of the boys played rugby. Gotta dodge them, yeah? They played 21 games and won 11 of them. Some notable wins were handball. Meanwhile, the girls partook in hockey during this time. The girls A, B, and C team played 20 matches overall and won 85% of them. As well, the girls A team were Surrey champions. Additionally, in our PE lessons, we developed our skills in sports such as basketball, handball, and badminton. Moving swiftly onwards, here's Penny to tell us what happened during the Easter term.
This year, during our Easter term, many of the girls have taken part in netball. The A, B, and C team have won 80% of their matches, playing 56 overall and winning 45 of them. The A team also won Surrey championships. As well as this, many of the boys have been working on hockey. They've won 67% of their matches, winning 16 out of 24 of them. And the boys hockey A team were national bronze medalists. Also in the spring term during PE, we've taken part in learning a couple new topics, such as volleyball, trampolining, handball, and gymnastics. The Easter term has been fun and successful, and as we move on, here's Kitty to talk us through the summer term.
In the summer term, there were 3 different sports options you could take. These included cricket, rowing and tennis. This year in cricket, the girls' A cricket team played 14 matches and won 11. The B team won 5 matches out of 5, for the 100% record. In boys cricket, the A and B team played 18 matches and won 12. The A and B team also had a double win versus St John's. As well as this, in rowing, our school participated in nationals. The boys' second octo came fourth, and the boys' third octo came first in their category. In tennis this year, there was a great amount of participation, with the A team winning all of their matches. Additionally, the under-14 boys won the Surrey School Finals. In PE this term, we've been focusing on athletics. So far, we've looked at discus, shot put, high jump and long jump, as well as running, including relay. The summer term with sport has been such fun, and there has been a great amount of teamwork, sportsmanship, and participation all round.
Over the years, we've done many different sports, but one of our favourites was dodgeball, and we like to see audience participation.
Keys. We're on night shift again. For the third night. Find your keys quickly. I'm trying. Where are they?
Did that scare you? Oh, someone save you from the fairies. Get the table.
How did this all happen?
Darling, I was just wondering what you. What's this?
It's my bag. I'm booked off into the wood. I need to know.
When are you planning on telling me this?
I'm sorry, I didn't want to worry. Please. Please. Look. I've got a white feather. They think I'm a coward. I have to go fight.
It's not that you're going to the war, it's that you lied to me.
Please, I didn't want to worry you. Honestly, I would have told you later.
If you die, what about our future?
Please. James will be there. We have a great general who'll look after us, I promise. I'll be fine. I'll be back before Christmas. Mary, please. The first day. James!
Will!
How have you been?
Good, good.
day of training. When you get out on the field, you will not screw up, you will suck it up. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
I said, is that understood?
Yes, sir!
James!
James!
There's nothing you can do for him!
Please!
Everyone get down!
Male, 27, got shot in the leg. His blood levels seem to be a lot better. Name? Yeah. All the information's on here. He's your patient.
Mary, Mary, what are you doing here?
Calm down. I signed up for the Red Cross. I wanted to be closer to you.
Mary,
It's fine.
you're putting yourself in danger, please.
Take it out. I'm here.
How are you doing, son?
General, what are you doing here?
A lot of our troops are here. We're one of many. Get better sooner, okay? We need you back on the field.
Mary, Mary, quickly! We need you! I'm coming. I'll be right back.
Mary! Mary!
I'll go check on us then.
Mary! Mary? Mary, where is she? Where's Mary?
I'm so sorry. She's gone.
What are you looking at?
You look just like her.
This year in English, the third year is focused on descriptive and persuasive writing in preparation for our English language GCSE next year.
We have decided to show the skills we have learned throughout a game of descriptive Pictionary, or Descriptionary, where we will guess and draw the thing being described.
Here is an example, written by Aidan Mothershaw. Rays of scarlet light reflect from its crimson armour, its back adorned with a liberal scatter of ebony spots. It scuttles across a log on 6 delicate legs before fluttering into the distance, exoskeleton separating to reveal paper-thin wings.
Now over to you. For each of the following 3 descriptive pieces, one person will have to draw and identify the items we're describing. Each correct guess will receive a prize. This first description was written by Elliot. Who wants to go? Hands up. Come on.
Anyone? Oh,
We're going to have to pick randomly.
oh, come on then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, what you're going to do is you're just going to use this ball pen and draw just in the corner. It's fine. What I'm describing for you. It's fine. Very simple. It had closed up, its plumb veins encased around the bud. With each leaf-like structure speckled with brown blurs, the petals folded and cowered upon each other. The centre of the bud was a deep black abyss, with each petal arcing over it, curling into one another. What do you think it is? It's going to be a flower.
Who else wants to go? Anyone? Come on, that wasn't that bad. No?
Go on, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
The royal blue ribbon was supporting the shining gold centerpiece, which contains a matching blue logo. There was an intricate design that has been inscribed into the shining centerpiece for the people who won.
Or something like that.
What, like?
I mean, medal.
Yeah, you've got it right, yeah.
One last person to have a go. Anybody?
Yeah?
Just the last one. You missed that game.
Are you ready?
Yes. This description was written by Freya Golding. Its fur was like a field of soft mossy grass, with its whiskers as small trees. Nothing disturbed this fluffy furry creature from its silent slumber. Only the small and insignificant sounds of the world, making its pointy ears flicker. Patches of brown, black and white were placed randomly on the body of the animal, peaceful and undisturbed.
In English this year, we've also learned the spell structure, which consists of setting, positioning, approaching, arriving, and leaving, as well as new ambitious vocabulary. This has helped us to form our descriptive writing pieces.
Thank you for listening to our English presentation. We hope that you can see that just a short and simple description can form a unique and detailed image in your head.
Good evening to you all, and welcome to 3O's presentation and overview of what we have covered this year in science. We have had a wonderful time so far in third year, and have studied so many interesting subjects. While many other classes have only shown you what they've done in one of their subjects, we've gotten quite a deal. We get to show you topics that we've covered in all three of our sciences. Buy one, get one through, if you will. Perhaps a sort of bog off. Thank you. Firstly, we're going to be looking at chemistry. We have really enjoyed chemistry this year, and we've gone right down and drawn everything in this whole universe back to just one singular thing, the atom. We've also had some fun with ionic bonding, though getting some of those substances to melt within a 45-minute lesson has proven quite difficult. And quite obviously, we've all really enjoyed the practical elements this year. One of our favourites being distillation. I've never seen this class get so excited over anything than that singular droplet of water. But anyway, we've been told to look forward to many new things, and so before we hand you over, I'm sure you're going to be green with envy over this next subject. So here's to Angelina to show you what we've done.
Thank you. As you can see in the video above, we first take copper and then burn it over a Bunsen flame. This flame turns green, and whilst it is very interesting in itself, does anyone know what is actually happening? In fact, the copper is oxidizing, which is when the atom loses electrons, and in this case, to bind with oxygen. This also causes the copper to turn black, and the black stuff is actually the copper oxide, and as you can see, we try to dissolve it in a second, but because it's insoluble, it just crumbles in the water.
So that was one of our best hands-on experiments from chemistry, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Angelina, Ava, Chloe, Evie, and Kira for that demonstration. Now we're going to move on to physics, where things get a decent bit more confusing, and slightly more annoying, if I will say. Everything seems to be represented by something it's not in this subject. Before I go off on one, as I do like to do from time to time, we don't want to lose you. We have done so much in physics this year. Sparks flew across the classroom when we were talking about electricity. And surprisingly, no one got too far down when we did gravity this year. So let's move swiftly and smoothly onto this next practical. We have Felix to explain what's going on.
Thank you. To start, have any of you played air hockey? You know what the table is like. Well, that is similar to what happens in this device. The air is compressed in the middle and then shoots out of these small holes. This air shooting out makes a little space shuttle practically float, so all elements of friction are eliminated. This makes it move out much faster and smoother along the prism. First, you watch as we slide the space shuttle along the prism. In this first try, we have placed magnets onto the shuttles, so when they would normally hit in the middle, the magnets repel, sending the other one into the opposite end of the prism without either of them touching. Now, on this second one, there are springs on either side of the shuttles, meaning that they hit directly into one another and tending it much faster along the prism. This is all possible as there are no forces of friction acting on the space shuttles.
Well, now we can say a great thank you to our physics team, Felix, Jack, Max, Richie, and Jake, who's just up in Tech Box, who has been doing all the lighting. Can you give them a round of applause? Well, we've nearly finished now, but before we say goodbye, we're going to recreate, I think, what we could call our favourite practical that we've done all year, and that's from biology. We found out so many interesting things about all the animals and creatures that live with us and around us, and also how to care for them. So here's for Tammy, who's going to explain exactly what's going on in these two lovely videos that are about to appear.
Thank you, Cordelia. In this video, you can see us holding a small purple solid. This is potassium permanganate. We then place this into the water. This then undergoes a process called diffusion. Whilst I know that there are lots of parents desperate to share their knowledge, let me explain. It is the net movement of particles from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. And though some of you may think, but it's in water, it must be osmosis. Osmosis has to be through a partially permeable membrane, so not quite right this time. Keep watching while the purple dye spreads through the water. This is happening because the particles of water and the particles of potassium permanganate collide with each other, dispersing the dye throughout the water, creating this beautiful purple dye.
And so there goes our final thank you to all of our biologists, Tammy, Tom, Ollie, and Edger, for that practical. And finally, we as a whole class 3.0 would like to thank you for all coming this evening and listening to what we've had to say about everything we've learnt this year. Thank you, good night.
This year in geography, we studied the geography of crime.
The geography of crime involves a study of the relationships between crime, space, and society through analysis of where and why crimes occur.
Geography is important when studying crime because when a crime happens, it always has a location, a time, and a reason.
Understanding the patterns behind this enables people to see where crimes are most likely to be committed, how to combat crime, and aids the process of crime-proofing areas.
Crime maps allow us to see where and what crimes were committed in Weybridge Shire.
For example, in April there were a variety of crimes committed, but some of the most common were antisocial behaviour, theft and burglary.
The reason for crimes relating to antisocial behaviour could be due to the fact that there are a number of establishments in Weybridge with the provision of alcohol.
Alcohol can sometimes cause people to behave in a way that is classed as drunk and disorderly. If the behaviour is reported to the police, it could be classed as antisocial behaviour.
To compare, there were 25 instances of antisocial behaviour reported in Addison in the same month, 8 more than Weybridge.
They were reported mostly near the pubs, convenience stores and supermarkets. A contributing factor could be the slightly younger demographic of our school.
Weybridge is an affluent area which may explain the high number of burglaries and thefts reported in April.
If an area is known for being wealthy, residents can become a target for criminals as they are likely to possess expensive items in their homes and on their person day to day.
Bicycle theft was also high in April. The majority of these were reported in public areas such as the car park behind Morrison's and the railway station.
This could be due to the high number of bikes in a small area and perhaps a lack of security.
There are two different ways in which crime can be prevented when it comes to theft and burglary: target hardening and creating defensible space. Target hardening makes it more difficult to get to the target. Creating a defensible space involves people being able to watch over and protect somewhere, and making it easier to spot something or someone out of place.
Burglary can be prevented through both target hardening and creating a defensible space. Target hardening could involve having locks installed on windows or railings or a gate in front of the house.
To make your house a defensible space, you can install a burglar alarm, install security cameras, or remove hedges and fences from the front of your home to make it harder for someone to hide and not be seen.
We also looked at what makes a person more or less likely to commit a crime and explored the intricacies of the Stephen Lawrence murder case in 1993.
One of the most interesting things about geography is how it allows us to study such a variety of issues and topics. This is what has led to so many of us choosing it for GCSE. Thank you for listening.
Thank you to Max Newlands for playing The Last Stand. This is our celebration of achievement PowerPoint. It is on the battlefields trip that the third year recently took to France.
What passing bells for those who die as cattle?
Only the monstrous anger of the guns.
Only the stuttering rifle's rapid rattle.
Can patter out their hasty horizons.
No mockeries now for them, no prayers, no bells.
Nor any voice of mourning, save the choirs.
The shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells.
And bugles calling for them from sad shires.
What candles may be held to speed them all.
Not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the glimmers of goodbyes.
The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pool, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds.
And each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds.
On Friday the 20th of May 2022, third year went to the battlefields to learn about and to honour those who made and those who were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. At this site we learned that the Germans made the French prisoners make their bombs, and it was very emotional.
Following this, we travelled to the Beaumont Hamel Newfoundland Memorial. This is the site of the Battle of Somme, and we saw the Newland Regiment, part of the 29th British Division. During the Battle of Somme, there was 858 of 780 men as casualties.
We then travelled to the TPO Memorial. This is a memorial to the missing of the Somme.
Its size is staggering, as it contains the names of over 72,000 soldiers whose lives were lost and their bodies never recovered during the Battle of the Somme, between the 1st of July and the 18th of November 1916.
We learned that at this site, we learned that the names of the people missing in the song were on this memorial.
We then planted poppies around the graveyard to show our respects to the fallen.
We then travelled to the Vimy Ridge Memorial. This is one of the largest World War I memorials and commemorates the Canadian soldiers who were killed during the war. It was built on the site of the Battle of Vimy Ridge that claimed the lives of 3,500 Canadian soldiers in just 4 days.
At this site, we saw what the soldiers would have experienced at the time when we walked through the trenches. The ground was still uneven at the site, which showed the scars of the war still showed on the battlefield today. On behalf of third year, we would like to thank the History Department for organising the trip.
Welcome to a summary of our year in maths from 3T.
As a core subject, we all spent a lot of time in math lessons, always enjoyable of course.
We have covered a wide range of topics across algebra and number, as well as geometry and also handling data.
In the spring of this year, around 50 of our best math students had the opportunity to take part in the Intermediate Maths Challenge. The name is a big clue. It's definitely a challenge. Overall, students from the third year did very well, achieving 23 bronze awards, 8 silver and 1 gold. Well done to all the students who took part, but especially to Adam Franks for achieving the gold award.
To give you a taste of the maths challenge and to showcase a little of our maths knowledge, we are now going to walk you through one of the trickiest questions on the paper.
We are apple pies. We are blueberry pies. We are cherry pies. We are damson pies.
We want to know how much this could cost us. We know that a cherry pie costs the same as 2 apple pies. We know that a blueberry pie costs the same as 2 damson pies. In fact, we can double the amount of blueberry and damson pies from earlier. Finally, we know that a cherry pie and 2 damson pies cost the same as an apple pie and 2 blueberry pies. We can swap out the cherry pie for apple pies. We can also swap out the blueberry pies. We can now subtract from both sides. Hence, we know that 1 apple pie costs the same as 2 damson pies. In fact, half an apple pie costs the same as 1 damson pie. We will need this later. Had we swapped for the damson pies earlier, we can prove that the apple pie and blueberry pie cost the same. We can now replace the pies with their equivalent number of apple pies. First off, with the blueberry. The cherry, and lastly the damson. So we have 4.5 apple pies. The only solution that is a multiple of 4.5 is £18. Thank you for listening.
going to have a debate over the question, is war inevitable? We loved this topic when we did it earlier in the year in our RE lessons because everyone had their own opinions, and each opinion was very intriguing for us to find out about. We hope this debate will give you a further understanding of one of the topics we have been studying this year, and we also hope you will enjoy it.
War is inevitable because we have created a formula for future wars. We continue to spend money on the military, who in turn continues to invest in dangerous weapons. These weapons force people to live in fear, and fear causes people to make irrational decisions, which may lead to actions that may help to cause war.
Another reason that war is inevitable is as countries and people declare and fight it to try and make profit out of it. This shows how much greed for money and land we as human beings hold in our everyday lives. As Alistair Mullaney famously said, war is a refined, lucrative industry.
Furthermore, war is an attractive way to gain land and materials for powerful nations. A key example of this was the German invasion of Poland in 1939. This invasion was solely for greed. As the historian Janet Daniel Wicker said, war is a highly seductive choice. This also links in with the stereotype that war is brave and exciting, far from the brutal reality that truly is.
The natural human instinct to solve a problem has been found usually to be to harm the others that they see as their opposition. The well-versed historian John Plott said that war is our default mode of resolving conflict. This quote is referring to the countless times that a minor disagreement has erupted into war. Also, war cannot be stopped because it takes a millennia for humans to evolve, and you cannot just genetically change a whole species.
I believe that war is not inevitable and that there are other ways to resolve conflicts. George Delph said, "We end war or war will end us," telling us that war is wrong. War destroys Earth's natural beauty created by God, which is meant for humans to thrive off of. Therefore, we need to try to solve conflicts through diplomatic and peaceful means rather than war.
Another reason why war is something that's not inevitable is something that we've already put into action, albeit not as effective as some had hoped. Richard Capet said in response to the same question that we're answering today, "War is not inevitable. We need more bodies like the UN to end war." Perhaps this quote is actually finding something that we're doing wrong currently, but it also shows that if we do it right, then war can be stopped forever.
So many wars have been caused by a lack of forgiveness and respect. After a war, both sides need to learn to forgive each other so they can rebuild bonds afterwards that will not allow another war to happen again. Respect is an important part of this equation because it's something that defines how countries see each other, and if a country does not respect another one, then there's a much more volatile environment for a war to erupt in.
Another reason why war is not inevitable is because in the past humans have changed old ways. In previous ages, war was seen as a necessity and for honour. However, in modernity, we try to reject the idea of war because of its negative traits. Most civilizations have changed from old traditions. An example of this is how common human sacrifice was, and now this tradition in many societies has been wiped out.
Thank you for listening to our debate. Now, it is the audience's, time to vote. If you believe that war is not inevitable, please raise your hand. Thank you. And if you believe that war is inevitable, please raise your hand. I think the clear winner is that war is inevitable, unfortunately. So thank you for listening.
This year we've been learning about static electricity in physics. Static electricity occurs when an electric charge remains stationary on an object.
Here is a short demonstration using a balloon. The balloon will become negatively charged as the electrons are transferred from your hair to the balloon. For our next demonstration using the Van de Graaff generator, you'll notice the student standing on a stool. The stool is used to prevent losing the static charge into the ground.
After it's switched on, the reason your hair stands on end is because some electrons have moved from your body to the generator, making the hair strands positive. Therefore, they repel each other. Louise's hair has fallen down because the charge is transferred down to the table and then down to earth.
How does this generator work? Once the Van de Graaff is turned on, it creates friction and causes electrons to move from you to the Van de Graaff. The Van de Graaff generator is electrically charged by a motor turning on a silicon rod.
This repulsion created strong enough to remove the catons off the generator and they appeared to float in mid-air.
The same occurs when we hold paper pieces. The paper pieces become positively charged and start repelling each other, meaning they float off the hand. We hope you've all enjoyed and learned something about static electricity.
Okay, so that's come to the end of our showcase today, and I hope you all agree that it was pretty spectacular, but next time maybe do it in December. So sorry that you're all sweating, but never mind, they've been put through it, so you have too. So I've got some accolades because, you know, it wouldn't be a celebration without them. So I am going to ask our delightful headmistress to come and give them out because she is more important than I. So for progress in art, it goes to Emma Webb. In biology, I actually didn't check, it goes to Hannah Bora. For progress in biology, it goes to Adam Loke. For attainment in chemistry, it goes to Ryan Garrity. For progress in chemistry, Kitty Brooker. For attainment in computing, Lucy Kirkman. For progress in computing, John Reese Filippetti. For attainment in DT, I don't know if he's managed to get down here fast enough, is Jake Heffernan. Well done. And Jake did along with our beautiful Elsie Clinton, did all of the lights and sounds today. For attainment in drama, Noah Croft. For progress in drama, Kiara Noel. For progress in English, Freddie Rees. Freddie, I've mixed them up. Where's Freddie? Freddie Rees?
Where's Freddie Rees?
How's he gone?
He's not in school today.
Oh, he's not in school today. Okay, I didn't get them mixed up here. For attainment in English, Charlotte Jury. And Charlotte, you can stay right there because you also have the attainment in food and nutrition. For progress in food and nutrition, Louis Smith. attainment in geography, Sophia Brennan. For progress in geography, Freddie Gill. For attainment in history, Hannah Bora. For progress in history, Sam Gearing. For attainment in Spanish, Kitty Brooker. For progress in Spanish, Martha Dalton. For attainment in German, Chloe Henley. For progress in German, Shiwi Sung. For attainment in French, Clara Vinny. For progress in French, Amy von Rensburg. For progress in Latin, for attainment in Latin, that's the one we want. For attainment in Latin, Saskia Cake. And Saskia can stay right there because she also has attainment in maths. For progress in Latin, Danny Meller. For progress in maths, Daniel Min. For attainment in physics, Cordelia Harbour. For progress in physics, Toby Sharma. For attainment in RS, Tara Burke, but she's not here today, unfortunately. For progress in RS, Josh Adcock. For attainment in music, Oliver Sanday. And for progress in music, Barnaby Fawcett.
Just keep you just for one more minute. For those of you who this is your eldest child or only child, this might be your first celebration of achievement. For those of you with older children, you know that it has been a different format in the past. Tonight has been all the brainchild of Miss Taylor here. And the children would just like to say thank you very much to all our hard work now. So I think we've got a little thing for them. So if we can just have one last round of applause.
really nice head of year this year, just doing this whole event and just making it an amazing year. Thank you.